I know this series was pushed through your requests, but I was busy and then not feeling my best. I'm coming back to it, since now I'm feeling fine. For today, this day is mine. Yesterday, this day is mine. More or less, more or less. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... I know I said I shouldn't be singing yet because of the whole throat thing, but this this title was too good a chance to resist, I would say. But oh well, I now regret it. Anywho, we're back to Way Down Low for the last time, I think, until new uploads come out. We've got through all of the Gacha related videos on the YaBoiHax channel, which mostly has other stuff on it that's non-Gacha related. So you know, there's plenty more for people to digest aside from what we've covered here. But of course, you know, everything has an end, as they said in the very same musical that other song was parodied from. This is not, but I don't think this is the conclusion of anything, but it is apparently the episode that was, you know, that was the longest time in the making. You know, it was like a very like arduous ordeal to get it through. And to see it actually completed according to the description, which can relate. We'll see what actually happened. We'll see if it actually paid off, because you know this series has had a lot of issues regarding things like like the way that things are edited, for example, or the performances or stuff like that. I don't know if any of that's been updated or if it's just because this episode is longer or the story was better crafted or something. Who's to say? We are in a second as we through it. So, yeah, I forgot. They always open up immediately. So, yep, without further ado, on with the review.
You know something? I am sick of my big brother's attitude. He's been a big jerk recently, and he's always been a jerk, yeah, but I barely see him
I mean, performances so far have been pretty good, yeah.
But that's all gonna change, because today, he'll have no choice but to pay attention to me, all I want, and I'm gonna
Pay attention to me.
take full advantage of this.
See, it's one of the things. Musicals, they get me. So I guess we're going back into essentially another sibling story of this series, which, fair enough. I guess this day is mine is a reference to this day is the where you paid attention to me, basically. Okay. So far, we still have the same capture, select capture, where like every single time a character moves or anything changes on the screen also changes. That's not ideal, but okay.
Hello, big brother.
Sup?
Am I
Oh, I thought because the music was there, people would not hear her. Okay.
interrupting something?
Yup.
And what would that be?
Their answer.
You're interrupting my it's the weekend and I don't have anything to do time.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Oh, okay. You know what? Actually, not that loud. Or maybe it is for you, because StreamYard is always kind of like that. Speaking of which, StreamYard has updated their logo and aesthetics a little bit, actually. And their fonts have changed and everything. It's very strange, but it functions the same way, so who knows?
Hey! Liz, what the hell was that for?
Let me refresh your memory, big
Oh yeah, of course there's no actual, air horn prop in Gacha, so use the spray can. Fair enough.
brother.
I'd have made it red, personally, to solidify the idea, but it works.
When I turned 9 4 months ago, you said you'd give me a whole day where you'd do anything I'd want.
I was...
Probably not the best way to phrase that, say like, something like, remember when you said you gave me the whole day the want? I'll go for your birthday, right? Oh no, or something like that. It's like a bit of back and forth with less expositioning.
Kinda hoping you forgot about that.
Well, today's that day, so move your lazy butt.
Okay. Guess it is only fair after all. Alright, Liz, you win. You're gonna get a full day of my undivided attention.
Yay!
So, what do you want to do first?
Let's go to the park.
Alright. Wait,
Sad part is that, you know, most people her age nowadays would not be staying in the park immediately for this request.
you seen my keys?
Oh, I may or may not have put them in the toilet as a second way to convince you.
You put my
As a second way to convince him. Right.
keys in the toilet?
May or may not have.
Well, since you thought that was a good idea, I'm gonna go clean my keys and hope they aren't contaminated. And while we're waiting for that, now we're gonna have to walk the whole way there.
I said I was sorry.
You didn't, actually.
And still didn't afterwards. Oh well.
Hey, no walking ahead, alright? You need to hold on to me. There's
How long they've been walking for is the question, I guess, at this point, because it's indeterminate amount of time has passed if he decides to arbitrarily say that now or not. I'm going to presume in good faith that they're close to their house.
a lot of...
Is this the second time that someone has bumped into Mina in a row? Because I just rewatched episode 4 and the same thing happened with Matty.
Hey, watch where you're... Ugh, never mind.
Also, you know, we've got the same issue before. Like Mina, okay, having actual hood on, which actually does match the neckline of the hooded prop in question. That's a nice detail. What is a nice detail is again the hair poking through, like in most gachas. People never get that right. As for Dojo episode came out recently. Oh, of course it did. I'm never gonna finish Freak Show at this rate. Apparently, I've already done 2 Minecraft views this week, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit longer. I think.
Fine. That was my fault.
We'll see. Maybe this week will be, you know, a Minecraft heavy week. We'll say. I don't know.
Hey? You feeling alright?
Just don't worry about it, okay?
Who is this?
Well, this is...
Is this your girlfriend?
That took a long time for her to process that. She was just standing quietly while the conversation was happening, and then like it suddenly clicked that there was another human being there. I get the kids are dumb, but not having object permanence at 9 and 4 months.
What? We're not.
Oh, so that's why you've been staying out so late, huh? You thought I wouldn't find out about your girlfriend, didn't you?
Lizzie, for the love of God, she is not my...
Nuh-uh. Your secret's out now, big brother. And since she's here, your girlfriend's gonna be my slave.
Okay, this is interesting, because of course they could like reboot this immediately or realize that this 9-year-old has no power over them anyway because anything she says is unreliable. However, the fact that Mina is reacting this way when literally anyone else would have been like, would have been, would have been rebuked immediately from her, based on what we've seen in almost every episode. Speaking of which, is he the only person who's been appeared in every single episode so far? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, the fact that she's not reacting this way does show that, you know, she's a bit more understanding towards kids specifically, which is a new dimension to the character. Fair enough.
What was that all about?
That's my sister Liz. She's, pretty energetic.
And also doing the thing you told her not to do and walked ahead again. I guess you just forgotten about that now.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression.
She's forcing me to take her to the park. You wanna come? She could use another person to torture.
I guess I'm not doing anything anyways. Sure.
Ah, what's that?
It's a slide,
I see they gave up on the hoodie idea. Fair enough.
Liz. Chill.
Can I get on it?
Well, it doesn't look like anyone's using it.
So...
Okay, I know I already made a slight Gen Alpha as cooked joke, but I mean, come on, not knowing what a slide is at 9 years old? Seriously?
what do I do now?
I will at least commend one thing, the attempt to interact with, you know, an actual, a prop that is a part of an existing gacha background. That's not easy without masking, and I know for a fact that YaBoiHax has not cracked that yet, so you know, this is an ambitious thing to say the least. If anything, it's actually an ambitious thing that What's Up Unicorn hasn't attempted, like interacting with like background props that way. That's like the one that's like the one it's like the one extra place to take a gacha video that was not attempted by her actually. Yeah. Oh, plotting something on for less than a frame can't really. I'm gonna try once to see if I can get that on screen. Oh, plotting world domination. Okay, I didn't get it on screen, but I saw it for a second later. Okay.
That's too much work. You're gonna have to push me, Big Brother's girlfriend.
I'm not.
Just let her have this one.
Ugh.
See, this is why kids get away with everything, because people like let them have everything. Yeah.
Hey, you better keep your dirty mitts on my Big Brother, or else.
Valid response.
Well, that was pretty satisfying.
I thought she was going to say, "Oh no, was that too rough?" or something like that.
Next up, the amusement park.
And another
And once again, she's walking ahead.
3 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Look, it's the photo
3 hours in a park. I'm impressed. I'm impressed he managed to last that long in the park, honestly.
booth.
I really hope you're not getting ideas.
I just got a great idea, actually. Everybody smile!
Okay, fair enough. I mean, a photo booth that fits 3 people at this level of distance. I thought, honestly, I would have like squished them a bit more together, because with 3 people in a photo booth, it'd be like that kind of like idea. I don't know. Maybe like have her on his knee, for example. Her being the sister, not Mina, obviously. Yeah, you did shove them in yourself. Normally I complain this guy not thinking things through like everyone else, but that's supposed to be her, personality as a child, so fair.
Hey,
I guess I'm more leaning to like Mina.
Mina, I'm heading to the bathroom real quick. Could you watch her and make sure she doesn't go anywhere?
Sure. Alright, kid, let's... Oh, God.
Okay. This is another I do like this technique of having her like actually shaking and the expression and then reveal what she's reacting to. Because this kind of like idea either sets up for a joke or an actual source of fear. It depends on where they're going with this. The music suggests they're playing it straight, but we'll see if it cuts out and immediately cuts to something else. Speaking of which, the music change was seamless there. I do like that. Oh, and there's a castle apparently.
Lizzie, what are you doing up there?
I just wanted to get into the castle.
Oh, that's why. Okay, so actually, we're using the close-ups for a reason now, rather than just simply zooming in on characters as they're speaking normally. I will say that this series has probably overused close-ups as a whole, I would say, because then when they're actually used to be like intense, like in last episode with Mina specifically, they lose a bit of their efficacy. But here, because it's meant to like reveal a location, that makes up for it.
But it was locked.
That's because it's off limits.
I'm really scared.
Oh, so I guess she was trying to climb over like the slightly open, like drawbridge. Okay, fine.
Please?
I'll try, okay? Just don't move and...
What's going on?
She's stuck up there!
Just jump, Liz.
Yeah, this is where I would have like changed the the angles to be like not this close up, maybe still a little bit, but like again, these intense shots like here, we've already had the reveal. We can actually zoom out a little bit now. Because you do get a lot of opportunity for expression through characters' body language, not just their facial expressions, if if you're doing it right. And I'm pretty sure they are in this case. They're kind of like, shortchanging themselves, sort of like how It's sort of like how in the musical remake, Aiden complained that he couldn't actually put a bunch of the characters who were actually getting changed on screen that I'd actually worked to like edit in basically because he wanted to keep the focus on the others, which I do get. So I guess I can say that I've done that myself.
We'll catch you, all right?
I can't. I'm gonna.
Shit! Don't worry, I got you.
It seemed like they were on opposite side. He was next to Mina before, so the fact that he like managed to go over the other side, that's probably the classic case of adrenaline kicking in and actually zooming in to save someone. In that case, how you hear like about like people lifting cars to save kids and basically like that kind of thing. That's what I'm guessing. Problem is you can't exactly portray that super well when everything is again in extreme close up. How much better would that visual have been if we actually saw him rush over and then catch her? I'm guessing this is partly also because this is a non-keyframed series, and that kind of shot would probably be best served while she's still moving, or alternatively, quick screen captures, quick screenshots of like her falling process to the stop motion method of actually simulating that movement. Either one would work in this case, but needs something, I guess, to sell that otherwise.
That was scary.
Looks like you messed up your knee.
Yeah, I had a bit of
Oh, really? Can we see the knee, please? You get my complaint now.
trouble climbing.
That's all right.
It's literally show don't tell.
I got
Okay,
just
now
the
here we
thing.
go.
You
Nope, that was his knee.
scared me out there.
Now we see the knee.
You can't do that again, Liz.
I know. I'm sorry. Thank you for
You probably physically can't now because you can't, climb up with your bad knee.
trying to help me, Big Brother's girlfriend.
I am not. Hey, don't mention it, kid.
I'm still gonna be watching you.
Well, there you go. That's the whole Lizzie experience.
This is why I was so keen on actually having examples of characters of the opposite binary genders and actually being platonic friends and not be romantically involved and having them both be straight. Again, you see the thing where, you automatically assume that's, guy and a girl together, they must be dating. And this is what happens, it gets embedded into you when you're like, that age, when you're 9. And unless someone actually corrects you instead of like, lets them have it, or lets them, have this one or whatever, then, it just continues. The cycle repeats itself, and that's why you have the issues of of boys and girls not being as close friends with each other, or that being the deviation from the norm, and then get like these all these different assumptions about the opposite gender and yada yada, like that whole thing. I really should make a video about that at some point, but probably would be probably would have to like back it up with something, even though again most of my evidence is anecdotal, but it's pretty potent, I would say.
I guess I've had worse days.
I'm pretty surprised you came out here. You don't normally act like this.
This was actually kind of fun.
I mean, you said you had nothing to do, and you did ask us, so
I don't know either.
Sure you don't want to talk about whatever's going on?
I just rather not talk about it. Especially not with someone just like that.
I assume that she's talking about the situation with Matty and Sarah from last episode. There are a few bits of connective tissue aside from the characters still existing in this that I do like about this series.
Very funny.
No, really. I think you should keep the hat. Looks pretty cute.
Mm-hmm. Hope you enjoyed all that, because you're not going to catch me.
I do. Okay, you know what? That's another example of like when cinematography was used effectively, I didn't even notice the hat.
Dead wearing this crap.
Well, I guess I feel a little bit better. But this isn't gonna last. I just need to get some sleep before I start thinking someone's watching me.
That last line I would have had, do like a retake and do it slower, basically. I know there's typically we have a big line like this to actually say it super quickly to get through it, but especially when the characters on their own, do a thing was like, I guess I feel a little bit better. Well, time to head out of here in case someone thinks someone's watching me. Or something like that, you know. Makes it feel less panicky. But yeah, like, you know what? Actually, yeah, this episode, overall, pretty well acted. Like I said before, the actual, the actual sister, um, pretty standout performance out of the three that we actually hear. I am wondering about this now that we've seen the whole thing, because I assume there's no post-credit sequence like there normally isn't. Now we've seen the whole thing, I am wondering what took longer about this episode than the others. I'm guessing it might have been an IRL situation. That's entirely possible and understandable if that's the case. But as far as the actual content in the episode goes, you know, aside from maybe like a few scenes where the cinematography was, you know, fairly important. Okay, I guess, you know, not really helping the whole not dating thing in this situation with these two, but oh well. Also, just that Mina's not wearing the hoodie, and that's it. Okay, fine, whatever. Oh, and it rewinds. Okay. But yeah, aside from that, it didn't feel like there was any, like, you know, major super visual upgrades over this or upgrade in the production of it. Could there have been could have been the case for like the body poses? I guess we'll never know. So yeah, overall, this is still this series is still held back by its extreme close-ups, by the changes of camera every time someone moves, so there's never any still shots to vary it up. The problem is that they keep doing all of the same. That's the problem. Like some of these, like the idea of doing close-ups or actually zooming in for the gacha characters having not be all in landscape is great. It's just the opposite problem to what most gachas have, which is that they all have them at a distance. It's well, they're not the opposite problem, it's the opposite extreme of the same problem. Because what you end up with instead is everything being close to everything being far, but that's still everything being the same. Except for, again, a few certain situations. It's even when the dialogue itself references things that we, the audience, can't see, that is the definition of tell, don't show. So, yeah, not, there's still a ways to go for this series in terms of a technical side. Story side, it was nice to see, you know, like an episode of a break, especially if it was something that took like a relatively much longer time to actually get together. It's great that they stuck with it because, you know, overall there's not like anything super consequential with this episode. What I'm guessing it will tie into the story overall is just the part with Mina at the end where, you know, the guy realizes that that there's something going on, which is obviously going to be followed up if the episode 6 teaser is right at the end there is to be believed. But that could have easily been like the opening scene of next episode and nothing would have been lost. And I'm not saying that, you know, having an episode that one can cut and not miss out on a thing is not always a problem. I'm not against filler as a whole, especially when it helps, you know, actually further characters and serves a purpose and therefore making it less of the definition of filler. So this does work for me particularly, and Mina did need something to distract herself from what went down last episode. It would have helped maybe if there was like a conversational point where she, you know, could have realized like something about like how she handled that previous situation. Like off the top of my head, for example, the kid was, you know, like very assertive the whole way through, basically, you know, like that, like, you know, do this, do that. This day is mine is the title of the episode. And, you know, I'll string everyone along basically, and I won't hear anything about it. Mina hasn't been in that situation. She's not accustomed to it the same way that, you know, the big brother would be, you know, obviously living with the sister. So what could have happened is she realizes that she doesn't like the idea of somebody, you know, like micromanaging what she's doing in the day, and then flash back to the line that Matty said last episode about not wanting to be her puppet anymore. was she unintentionally coming across the same way to Matty, which is part of what made it so that Sarah's plan of separating them succeeded. That's the kind of thing where, you can say, okay, here's a purpose behind this as well, if you want to like insert something else. But like I said, it's not bad that it doesn't have that, because it's nice to see characters actually just, having a good time and actually interacting with each other on this on the down low, ironically enough. It's refreshing to see like that kind of thing in a series like this, when most of the time, because of like how these things work, every episode counts, they build off each other. They even if with it being the internet, there's obviously a sense of like trying to entice people to watch like the previous series episodes or something that's going on. So this has just enough of that to incentivize people, if this happened to be their first episode, to go back and check out the rest. They're still going to be surprised by the story's structure in terms of making like different characters the protagonist every single time. But I mean, like I said before, at least Mina herself is consistent. I think she's honestly, again, I think she is the only one who's appeared in every single episode so far, which is probably deliberate. Again, like there's a good idea of connective tissue. Like, for example, the main Mrs. Dysart, the spin-off series that, I co-wrote with Aiden. Like that one, Mrs. Dysart is, of course, the titular character. She's not the main character. The class that she has share the main characters, and like they swap it between each other depending on the episode and what lesson is being learned. And Mrs. Dysart's there to facilitate that. So in the same way, it appears that we're following along with what's happening with Mina, but from the perspective of different people, which is a novel concept. I'm wondering like how well that's coming across to people who are just like what is for the first time new, but considering that, this series got highly requested for me to continue it, I'd say maybe it's working out better than I'm painting it right now. So yeah, I guess we'll see from there, Looking forward to episode 6 to see like what actually does happen as a result, what actually does get pushed forward. But yeah, that's most of what I can say now. But if if episode 6 is in production right now, I will say find a different way to take the screenshots, or to fix them, or to fix the shots in post, so you don't have to switch the perspective every single time with a snipping tool, for example. If your voice had to speak too quickly, make sure to do a retake. And I would say, compose the shots so that the ones that you want to stand out do stand out, rather than everything being as uniform as it is right now. That's what I say about this episode, but I also say about the series as a whole. So there you go. Tomorrow, I've already actually set out for like the review I'm going to do, which is Camp Creek episode 4. So anyone watching this VOD right now, mark your calendars for one day from now. Just remember it, because why would you bother with that? But yeah, maybe after that we'll cover the Deltarune episode. We'll see. Good thing that good thing that my headaches have been cured, because that's definitely going to put me into that same physical state again, I imagine. But for now, I'm glad that this didn't. So I'm going to, seize the opportunity and I guess be done, because I'm finished way earlier than I normally would be. But yeah, I guess it wasn't as much to say this time. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? You tell me. But for now, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.